If you're a dog walker, you can apply for a product manager job. The hiring manager is going to want to know, and people will want to give you a referral. I was interviewing a lot and I wasn't getting any offers. Understanding what a product manager does on a high level is not going to cut it if you want to break into product management. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Layla, and this is where I talk about education, personal development, and career goals. In today's video, I want to dive deep into breaking into product management without any prior work experience in 2023. I've made a list of some actionable items that will actually help you break into product management this year. To give you a little bit of a perspective on where my journey started as a product manager. So in 2019, I was a product manager for a startup that I was a co-founder of, which was a curse and a blessing, and I'll explain why in the next part of this video. Upon my exit from the startup, I joined a large financial firm as an associate product manager, and from there on, I moved to an even larger financial firm as vice president, senior product manager, where I'm currently working. So before we get started with the actionable items on how to break into product management, I want to talk to you a little bit about what product management is in general. So to put it scientifically, product management is basically a strategic business function that involves planning, development, and life cycle of a product or a service. And as a product manager, you would be responsible for guiding the product from its initial concept through development to launch and ongoing improvements. And so as a product manager, you'll always be right in between technology and business. Understanding what a product manager does on a high level is not going to cut it if you want to break into product management. You have to be really good at knowing and owning the lingo that involves all the work that goes into product management. Back in 2019, I was a product manager for a startup that I was also a co-founder of. If you're curious, it's stillbuild.com. You can go ahead and check it out. The product itself was really high quality, and there was a lot of work that went into it. However, as a product manager, when working with my tech team and with my designers, I never really used the scientific product management lingo while guiding the product from concept to development to launch and ongoing improvements. And so think of it this way. I was a street musician that was really good at playing music, but I didn't know how to read the notes. So going from a startup to a larger corporation, I was interviewing a lot and I wasn't getting any offers. And when asking for feedback, a lot of the hiring managers would tell me that I didn't know the product management lingo. So they were confused about my experience and the value that I would be bringing into the company. Therefore, understanding what a product manager does on a high level is not going to cut it. You have to know the lingo that product managers use to get their day-to-day jobs done. So let's take the next few minutes to do a high-level overview of what some of that lingo is. I can film another video to go in depth on some of that lingo, but let's keep it a little bit high level for the sake of this video. So imagine being a product manager at a small, mid, or large-sized company. What you will be doing there is you'll take a calendar year and you'll divide it into quarters. And then you will have objective key results for each and every one of those quarters. From there on, you will break up your objective key results into initiatives, deliverables, and epics. These epics will later be broken down into user stories. All of your user stories have to have their acceptance criteria. From here on, as a product manager, you'll be responsible for managing your backlog. You'll be responsible for prioritizing these user stories into sprints. In the meantime, you will also be working with a cross-functional team. So you have your user stories, you have your backlog. It is now time to meet with your team and to plan the work. To do this, you will have to hold team ceremonies and you'll have to do daily stand-ups, sprint plannings, groomings or refinement sessions, sprint reviews, and retros with your team. The features that have been groomed and refined with the team and prioritized into sprints will then go into bi-weekly sprints. So throughout the sprints, your design team will develop high-fidelity prototypes while your tech team writes out code to build these features. This code will then move from dev environment to QA to UAT and eventually into production. As a product manager, you'll also be responsible for validating some of the features that your squad has been developing during production releases. Now, these are some of the basic lingo that you will need to know in order to apply for entry-level product manager roles. Now that I've shared with you what product management is on a high level and some of the lingo that is critical for you to be able to break into product management, you're probably going to ask me about incorporating this lingo into your interviews while having absolutely no prior experience. My biggest recommendation would be to build out your own product and to use it as your portfolio. Now you're going to ask me, how do I build out a product if I don't know how to code and if I don't have a cross-functional team? So what you want to do is you want to find software engineers, designers, and QA engineers that are also looking to gain experience and to build out a portfolio of their own. The easiest way to do this is to go on LinkedIn and find some recent bootcamp graduates, bootcamp alumni who are also looking to gain work experience. And by getting together with a software engineer, a designer, and a QA engineer, you can build out a simple, it doesn't have to be an over-the-top complex product. You can build out a simple product which can be used as your portfolio when applying for jobs. This is really important because when applying for jobs, the hiring manager is going to want to know if you've ever worked with a cross-functional team. Now, you could also go ahead and build out a Squarespace website or a WordPress website, but I don't recommend that you do that. And here's the reason why. The hiring manager that is looking to add you onto their team is looking for someone who has cross-functional product management experience. What that means is they want you to be able to work with back-end developers, front-end developers, full-stack developers, designers, and QA engineers. As a product manager, the most value that you're going to be adding to your squad is knowing how to work with your squad. And a squad is basically a tech team. Some companies also call it a pod. If you don't know how to work with software engineers and designers, it's going to be really hard to prove to the hiring manager that you're really ready for the job. And showing up to an interview with a product that you have built together with software engineers and designers is going to be a huge leverage in your interview process and is truly going to put you ahead of the competition. So the next tip that I want to give you is finding a common denominator between your current work experience and the current industry that you're involved in and the industry that the product manager job is posted for. And what I'm trying to say is, say you've never worked in tech and you have absolutely no product management experience, but you've worked in the hospitality industry for years. Let's say you've been a server or a bartender at a restaurant. You might think that breaking into product management with hospitality experience is going to be much, much harder than breaking into product management with a tech experience. I do think that you'd be a huge asset as a product manager for a company that is working on a software for the hospitality industry. The hiring manager at a company that is building a POS system or some type of a service platform for restaurants is going to see a lot of value in your work experience as a server at a restaurant. Although you may not have a lot of tech experience, you will be bringing in industry experience, and hiring managers really value that. So think of it this way. If you're a dog walker, you can apply for a product manager job at a dog walking company or an app. If you're a server or a bartender, apply for product manager roles at hospitality software companies. If you are a babysitter, apply for product manager roles at babysitting companies. The industry experience that you bring into the interview is going to be far more valuable than you might think it is. The next item that I want to share with you is asking for referrals. Now, this is something that I truly underestimated the impact of. And I understand that asking for referrals can be really frightening and scary if you are sending out cold emails on LinkedIn and never getting a response back. I don't recommend reaching out to recruiters on LinkedIn. And the reason why I don't recommend that is because the likelihood of them responding to you is really low. And recruiters are probably not going to be able to refer you to the company. However, I do recommend going on platforms such as Fishbowl and asking for referrals on a platform like Fishbowl. A lot of the people that join platforms like Fishbowl are looking for referrals themselves. And the users of platforms like that are big believers in reciprocal favor. And people will want to give you a referral because they'll probably also get a bonus for it. So I recommend going on a platform like Fishbowl, writing out a simple paragraph about your work experience, educational experience, etc. If you're actively applying for jobs, I do recommend being very active on Fishbowl, reaching out to people, commenting under their posts, and letting people know that you're looking for a referral. From there on, you'll be able to make a lot of connections that will translate into LinkedIn connections, and these people will become part of your lifelong professional network. Now, before I conclude this video, let's sum up everything that we have learned. We've talked about what product management is on a high level. We've talked about the importance of understanding and using the lingo that product managers use. We've talked about gaining work experience without having an opportunity to work anywhere. We've gone over finding a common denominator between your current industry and the industry that you should be applying for as a product manager. We've talked about finding peers and establishing a cross-functional team in order to be able to gain true product management experience. And we've also talked about going on Fishbowl and asking for referrals. Now, if you found this video helpful, or if you have any questions or suggestions for me, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd like to film more helpful videos about resumes, cover letters, and interview questions for product managers in 2023. So please let me know in the comments down below if you would like me to film more of these videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.